What's up, you guys? UFO Proof here. Well, about a week or two ago, a video got released by the Pentagon that basically went viral and blew up all over YouTube with every YouTube UFO channel out there, including ours as well. And it was, been going just fine. We've had did our videos on it, and other channels have discussed it and everything. The one thing that every channel agreed on was that this was a legitimate video. And then a YouTube channel came out of left field to debunk this video. And being a debunker myself and a fan of this channel, I was left with no choice but to say something. So here's a video by Ufoseekers, the people who debunk it.
In a shameless attempt to help Tom DeLonge raise money for his music company called To the Stars Academy, the New York Times released this so-called UFO video. It's being paraded by UFO elites like Giorgio Tsoukalos, George Knapp, and Nick Pope.
Okay, we're going to stop right there. So, in a crazy cockamamie scheme, the New York Times decided that it was going to help create a hoax video so Tom DeLonge's company, To the Stars, could make money. Moving on.
Evidence of
I bet you not one of
aliens.
them claims that.
But we wonder, do jet fighters
they? I
follow
don't
jet
know.
fighters? We've enhanced this image of the video and overlaid an F-35, one of the Air Force's
they
newest
took the
aircraft.
footage, then they took
It's actually
a picture of a F-35 and cropped it out themselves. Obviously, it's not a. They could have just went and got a piece of clip art, but they decided to do it themselves, which you can clearly tell, but it's fine. And they decided to lay it over that. This is how they're doing their debunk, all right?
Stealth jet fighter. Now, if this is an in-cockpit display using FLIR, thermal, or infrared, it's gotta be one of the crappiest ones we've ever seen. In fact, it's extremely strange that the clouds in the foreground are perfectly visible, yet the object in the front just happens to be blurred.
Well, see, that's not true. The clouds that you're seeing are in the background, and the object that you're seeing is in front. Of course, when you're looking at something that's producing heat because you're using thermal imaging, you're not going to get a detailed image of the object, especially if the object's really hot. It's going to be like basically nothing but heat signatures. But let's move on for now.
Isn't it incredible how the jet
Never seen a
rotates?
jet rotate before.
Here's a side-by-side comparison. Now you can easily see the vertical
Okay.
stabilizers and the wings of the aircraft. They're
Oh,
just
the
not
crappy
picked up
video.
well by the crappy video.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree on that. This was filmed with the at FLIR system created by Raytheon. So I think these guys know how to create a imaging system. All right, this is fucking Raytheon we're talking about. I mean, that's like saying Cadillac doesn't know how to make a car. Yeah, they make Cadillacs, dude. They know how to make a fucking car.
Here we can see they changed the color in the middle of the video to make it more difficult for us
they
to
didn't.
identify
They
the
stopped
object.
it and they switched it over to the negative in order to make it clearer for people to see it. All right, they did this for the pilots. The pilots did this themselves. All right, to make it more clear.
But luckily for us, companies invented video editing software.
Oh,
so we can
shit.
actually analyze these videos.
We can? Would have never guessed it.
Here's our version of the video with enhanced audio.
Let's check out their version.
Come in, San Diego Tower. I got a bogey in front of me. Oh my God! Look at this thing go. Oh, it's changing the clouds. Did this come from the moon? Oh, there's a whole fleet of them. Get over here. I can't tell what's happening. It's incredible. Come on, look at this thing. Can you see the clouds going by? Oh, come here, Maverick. You've got to get close. I can't believe this. We're all gonna die, Maverick. There's a whole fleet of them. Are they drones? Oh, no, they're aliens. I know they're aliens. Call Will Smith, Maverick. Call Will
What
Smith.
if we were
We're all gonna
what if we were to
die.
actually get footage of a F-35 through the FLIR system from the USS Nimitz? Well, guess what? I got it. And I want to thank Chris Albright for helping me out with this. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this looks like. Okay, so you can see this is now it's in FLIR, and that's just in regular, but now it's in FLIR. So why does it change like that? All of a sudden you see some fire coming out the back end of it, but not there, but there's, look at the fire shooting straight down. What's going on with that? Look at that. Where is that fire? Where is that fire trail in the video that he was showing us? It's not there. Why? Because it's not a fucking jet. Alright? The thermal camera is picking up the tremendous heat signature that is being put off by the engines of the aircraft. Alright? So, which is a lot hotter than the rest of the craft around it. So, when you see it flying, when it's coming in for a hovering or it's flying in Harrier mode, you see a big stream. It looks like a fire shooting down. But if you were just to see it in daylight with your eyes, you don't see anything. It just looks like it's floating in midair. Because the camera is picking up the heat signature coming from it. Alright? And yet that object that you were showing us does not have any kind of afterburners. And you know, where are those where are the engines on it? Is the entire craft just one big engine? Why is the entire thing, the object, the same temperature? The F-35 in this clearly shows a temperature differential between the engines and the craft itself. Now, another thing that got me, and I want to thank my friend Smooth Virus for pointing this out, is he said something really interesting. That there was another person who was involved in this somehow. And that is a friend of ufology's. It's like ufology's crazy old grandpa who just needs to stay in the home, all right? And that's John Lear. And, you know, first of all, whenever John Lear is attached to anything, automatically you can go ahead and assume that anything you're about to hear will be complete and utter nonsense spewed out by an insane, schizophrenic, escaped mental patient. And this guy has something to do with this video for some reason. So let's check this out. Now apparently on the Ufoseekers channel, in a description, they had an article written by John Lear on why this video was a hoax. Let's go ahead and take a look at John Lear's story. Alright, so John goes on and says, first thing I noticed, right off was an ambient noise, was the ambient noise. Supposed to be sounding like wind rushing against the aircraft, like someone who didn't know anything about ambient noise in a fighter jet was trying to make wind noise. There is no wind noise in the jet because the microphone is inside the oxygen mask, which seals around your face and does not let any ambient noise in. When a pilot is talking, there should be a very faint sound of him breathing. In this case, he is not even the slightest breathing sound. It sounded like the pilots were reading from a script into a recorder on a kitchen table, and they were using a home-type vacuum cleaner to simulate wind rushing outside the fighter. There couldn't be. Then the pilot's conversation using dude and bro is not Navy jargon. Fighter pilots, like that, not Navy jargon, that's great. Then the pilot's conversation using dude and bro is not Navy jargon. Fighter pilots talk in short, clipped sentences, no extraneous comments. Then the one pilot says something like, the wind is out at 120 degrees at 20 knots, or something like that. Why would he bother to tell the other pilot that information? The other pilot has that information on his HUD heads-up display, maybe because the other pilot can't read. No, that's stupid remarks. That's a stupid remark to put in the script. Right? Then the attitude reference presented to the pilot by the HUD heads-up display, which allows the pilot to see altitude, airspeed, and other vital information while simultaneously looking directly outside and showing him a point of reference to aim at. There are two little vertical lines that tell the pilot exactly where he is aiming. Down to the left on his HUD is the airspeed, in this case 238 knots. So if he's going 238 knots, how come the UFO isn't getting any closer? The attitude reference on the HUD shows he is 20 degrees left bank. So if he is turning, how can the alleged UFO stay in the exact center of the HUD? The UFO would have to be matching the jet's exact rate to turn to stay in the center of the HUD. That means whoever drew the UFO or penciled it in somehow didn't know the HUD or the aircraft point of reference worked. The UFO should have been making changes left and right, up and down, as the pilot attempted to keep it in the center, but the alleged UFO didn't move like that. Then the clouds were simulated. I love this. They were stratocumulus type. And their shape was uniform throughout the turn. Unless there is a storm in progress, which there isn't, clouds, if there are clouds, should have been of the stratus type simply because the underlying sea does not have varying degrees of temperature to make stratocumulus as shown in the video. The clouds over the Pacific could not have been stratocumulus type as shown in the video. The uniformity of the clouds throughout the turn indicates to me that this video has been filmed in a flight simulator, which does have that uniformity simply because it would be unnecessary added expense to the background presentation. I have thousands of hours in all types of simulators, and I know how they work and how they are built. Good for you, John. If this fake video cost more than $6.32, somebody got robbed. The alleged UFO looks like it was penciled in, inked, or dubbed in. They should have used the latest Hollywood tech and made it look like a real UFO. The alleged aura surrounding the fake UFO was simply pitiful. It doesn't change the contrast or density with the alleged UFO movement. But apparently whoever was commissioned to make this fake video didn't have the money for a real professional job, which would have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is why the current space age movies cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make. They can't afford for audiences to say they sure didn't do a very good job faking that alien spaceship. If you're going to present a fake video to the public, you better damn sure it takes advantage of and represents the current state technology. Look at 9/11. There is still a large percentage of the public who believe those airplanes allegedly crashing into the World Trade Centers were real. Nope. They were holograms. And that's been 16 years ago. Really? You know, I'm just saying, I just lost so much respect for UFO seekers for putting this idiot up here like he's helping you because he has a name. Listen to what he's saying. Planes that hit the buildings were holograms. All right, so here we have a video of the UFO, and one side it shows the raw footage, and then the other side it shows stabilized footage. And I want to thank Goddard's Journal for letting us use this. This is a put together, did a very good job. You guys go check out the channel, all right? Now check this out. Now he stabilizes the footage that he stabilizes. He actually did this by hand, and he does it so it's like you're looking out a plane window and just see the clouds like level with you. All right. Then you can really tell how this thing's moving. Now, see, what's interesting is how John said, oh, this thing, it should be staying right, you know, it should be bouncing all over the place. How is it staying right in the center? If he's banking, then he has to be banking at the same time. No, it's because of the state-of-the-art technology of a at-FLIR Raytheon camera. All right, John, you fucking retard. You know, obviously you don't understand the state-of-the-art tech, all right? At the same time that this craft is moving, the camera is also tracking the craft. So in John's time, cameras didn't track anything. You had to point the camera at something, all right? But in our time, John, the cameras can do it themselves. All right, so this is a selfie stand. My phone has an application to track objects. And as you can see, when I tap the screen, it will follow the little selfie stick, whatever I tap in the image, it will follow it around if it moves. And that's what tracking is. So that camera centered and focused on the UFO the whole time. That's why you have the screen, because the camera is centering it itself and it's tracking it that way. It's not because, you know, not like the old days where we all moving around. The camera tracks it naturally and stabilizes all the footage, and that's why it comes out the way it did. And follow anything you want it to, all right? Welcome to the future, buddy. Out of all the people who watched all these videos, and watched this video, which is a cool video, there's something I wanted to point out, and that is the second UFO. Now, a lot of people have probably missed it. It's okay, all right? It happens all the time. It happens to me. But because I do have a fucking eagle eye, and you ain't getting shit past me, I caught this motherfucker. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So right now it's kind of hard to tell, but actually right here is the UFO. All right, now we're going to follow this thing. See, it's moving independently, but if you're too busy watching the UFO, no one's paying attention to that little guy right back there, and he actually looks like he could be part of the screen, but he's not. He's another UFO out there, dude. These pilots were really seeing fleets of these things, man. They were telling the truth. Look at that. Is that cool or what? You can still see him up there in the corner. So, I mean, I think that's really cool. You know, did you guys notice that? Just look at this other little guy just going, you know? No, everyone's getting stuck on the other UFO. But I just want to say that I think I can explain why UFO seekers put this video out. And that has to do with To the Stars, you know. They, for whatever reason, have an issue with Tom DeLonge. And I'm thinking it might stem from the fact that Secure Team 10 has an issue with Tom DeLonge. You know, obviously he was all heated and shit for Tom DeLonge getting Researcher of the Year. And Ufoseekers, they were a nobody channel. And then they got Secure Team 10 to back them up, and now they have over 100,000 subscribers. And that's like in a year or so, you know, which is fucking incredible. You know, and their content is nothing spectacular at all, you know, but when you have Secure Team 10 putting your stuff out there, and well, he's hating on Tom DeLonge, so we want to be on his side, and we want those numbers, so we should hate on him too. And now we're going to also do a debunk video on this whole Pentagon video and try to kill two birds with one stone. That's what I think, but I could be wrong. Anyway, you guys, see you next time. And I want to give a big shout out to our proofer of the week, and that goes to Paul Fahey. You're the man, buddy. You deserve it. He's always coming around. He comments on every video. Always shows tons of love, man. And we love having you on the channel, Paul. All right, buddy. You fucking rock, brother. UFO proof out.